Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. My name's Adam, S&S 43. It's kind of a sad time around my shop right now. Yesterday, I was a victim of being burglarized. My shop was broken into, and the scumbags did take off with some of my stuff. Fortunately, some of the things that they took were not my precision tools, my machinist tools, things like that. They took off with my Craftsman tool sets, my DeWalt drill motor that I use all the time down on the mill, and my Hitachi 4.5 inch angle grinder. And so far, that's all I found that they took. Outside, I had some fishing poles that were my dad's that I had outside. They really didn't have much value to them, but I had them out there because I really didn't have nowhere to store them. But they grabbed those also. And this is the second time. The first time was last week. They took I had a floor jack that was outside against the wall, 3-ton floor jack, and they took that. So they've been scoping me out and checking out the shop. They've got a good hiding spot behind the shop there, looking in that window to see all the stuff I have, and I think they've been planning it. So they came back and they knew that we were gone, and they pried my side door open and pushed it open. I have my oxy-fuel tanks that always sit right in front of that door just to kind of help secure it also, but they just shoved it back and pushed it out of the way and come on in. And what they did was, that window back there behind my granddad's toolbox, they set my granddad's top box down in the floor and opened the window up, busted the screen out, threw the screen way out there in the woods, and they must have used that to set all the goods outside the door, outside the window I mean, and then they took off with everything. So pretty upset. I'm pretty shooken up about this. I've been very lucky that I haven't had to deal with this before until now, and it sucks. It really does. It sucks big time. It's a feeling of being violated. Somebody comes in and they have no intentions other than to take your things, and they don't care anything about you. And it's just, it's a bad feeling, and very, very unnerving. Just anybody that's been a victim of it knows what I'm talking about. They have no regard for a working man and his items and what he works hard to get. They just want to take it so that they can pawn it, sell it, trade it for you know what. So, and I know that's what's going on here. Later today, I'm actually going to be checking out some of the pawn shops. This is kind of a pawn shop area. We have several around here. I'm going to be checking them out. After it happened, I did call the cops, and they came out and did a report. They took photos. The crime scene guys came out and they took photos and dusted for fingerprints. I don't know if you can see it, but the Lista is covered in the dust for the fingerprinting. They did open that up, but they didn't take anything out of it. They actually set one of my Starrett boxes out, and so I don't know, maybe they just who knows. Luckily I didn't get anything taken out of that. But so anyway, we got a report. They took fingerprints. They took my fingerprints so that they could remove my fingerprints from whatever they took. They did get a little bit on the window back there. They even got a couple palm prints. So I'm hoping that they have a little luck with that and maybe can find out who it is if he's got a record. I have an idea who it is. I don't know the man personally, but my neighbor across the street that lives across the highway there, he's the one that came over and talked to me the day that my floor jack went missing, because he seen a man on a bicycle go to that abandoned house back there, and he said he seen him walk down into the woods. We got some woods behind my house here, and that was the last that he seen him, until later he noticed that he was riding his bike down the sidewalk and he was pulling a floor jack behind him. And he didn't know where he got it from, but he knew he got it from somebody, because he shouldn't be pulling a floor jack behind him. So he came over and told me about it and asked me was I missing one, and of course I was. I told him, yep, it was sitting right there, so they got it. So they're hopping the fence and coming in the back way. So that's what they did this time also. So I've got a friend named Don. Me and him's been good buddies for a while. He's been in the security business for a very long time. He came and hooked up a security system in my old shop, and which me and Gil had taken down a few months ago with plans to hook it up here. And it was my fault for never contacting Don and asking him to come over and hook it back up. But whenever all this went down yesterday, I sent Don a text and said, hey man, they got me. They came in the shop. And he texted me back and said, I'm on my way. He was at his shop working, and he dropped what he was doing, jumped in his van, and came over here immediately. He was here in a half hour. That's a true friend right there. Like he says, a true friend doesn't even call, they just show up. And that's what he did. He showed up. So we worked on installing my alarm system here in the shop last night. We were out here for a good 6 hours hooking it up. So I do have an alarm system hooked up now, which is amazing. You know, not even 24 hours after it happens, I got an alarm system. And this alarm system will hopefully deter somebody if they try to come back in here. But we do have plans to go ahead and invest in a nicer security system with cameras both inside and outside. That was one of the things that the cop recommended also, is that have one inside also, so that you have a better chance of catching somebody with your stuff. So we're going to put some cameras around here. We'll have a nice DVR system. You know, it's one of the things that we're going to have to invest in just to protect our investment here. And it's a shame that it has to come to that, but the world is full of scumbags, and they don't care about you. They just want your stuff so that they can collect a few bucks. So I got to thank my buddy Don. It meant a lot to me that he come over like that and hook this security system up, or alarm system I mean. So I've got to replace my door. It's something that I've got to invest in, is replacing the door and the frame. I fabricated a bar last night, and I've got it bolted to the block there, right inside the where the door is. I've got it bolted in, but I've got it just enough where they can, if they try to come back again, you know, they can pry the door open again. It's only going to open just enough to break the contact on the alarm there, and it's going to siren off. So we got that. So I don't think they're going to try to get that door open. I mean, I don't know what kind of effort. You could probably use a battering ram and knock it open, but it'll keep somebody from coming in. I've also got motion detectors in here now, and I've got one of them set off in the back here. If it detects somebody, it goes off immediately. I have a delay on the front side here where I can come in and shut it down, but the door and that back sensor is set to go off immediately if it detects. So I feel a little better about that. I feel much more at ease that I've got that hooked up now. But I do have more plans in the works. You know, I've got plenty of windows, and all of the windows here, you know, I'm vulnerable. So I'm probably going to go ahead and invest in some materials here pretty soon and build me some frames and give me some expanded metal and basically just build some guards that I can bolt onto the wall and cover up the windows to keep people from trying to bust out my windows and come in here. And then again, we'll have to do something with the door. We're gonna have to put a lot better door and lock system there. So that is what I've been going through. I took a couple days off of work to I couldn't go back to work knowing that somebody's got their eye on me. And my boss had no problem with it. He even come by this morning to check on me. Thank you, Paul. He came by and checked on me and see how I was doing and said, take some time off, do what you got to do. And he understands. So I'm going to take some time off and might do a little bit more around here. Haven't decided yet, but I do have some footage from this week, some stuff that we have done in the shop, and we've got some viewer mail too. So I don't know if this is gonna be a 1 or 2-parter at the time of talking to you here, but we might have another 2-parter because I got a bunch of stuff to show you and a little project that I did here in the shop. Got some stuff that I wanted to show you that I did at work, some more machine work there, building some big hydraulic rods. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what kind of S&S I can make for you. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get some other footage. And for the guys that have been following me on social media, I posted about it there, and I appreciate all your support and all of your comments there. So thanks again, everybody, for your continued support. So we'll go ahead and get to some other footage, okay? Alright guys, here's our first viewer mail. Got a couple wrenches here. This was sent to us by Chuck Bomarito, also known as Outside Screwball on YouTube. And Chuck was doing some cleaning out and he found these wrenches and thought that I might like them. One is a Fairmount 5/8 and 9/16, and this other one is a Billings 11/16 and 9/16. The Billings this is just like the one that I found at the flea market recently and showed you. And these are nice little wrenches. So this is the second one now that I've got, and I like this old classic style that Billings made right here. So 2 more little wrenches to add to our collection here. And thank you very much, Chuck, for sending them to me. I love them and I appreciate it, man. Hey guys, so today I made a run to the flea market. Today's actually Saturday, and I haven't been to a flea market on a Saturday in a very long time. I usually go on Sunday mornings, but I decided I wanted to try Saturday and just see if I happen to get any better luck on finding some goodies, or if there was more people out there, that kind of thing. And it was actually a pretty good day. I did notice that there was a few more vendors than normal, but I think that's because the temps are cooling down. There's more and more people out there. But today was kind of an odd, cold day. We just had there was that cold front that moved through the whole eastern United States, and it made its way all the way down here to us. And it was 41 degrees this morning when I woke up. So it was a little chilly out there at the flea market. Matter of fact, I couldn't find my beanies, so one of the first tables I went to, this lady had a stack of beanies there for sale. They're all brand new, $2 a piece, so I grabbed 2 of these. And I wore that when I was down there because it was, right now it's still in the 40s. It's only about 10 o'clock. So anyway, I did happen to find some good stuff today. And I got it all here to show you. I did find one really exciting item that right at the last minute I was getting ready to leave. So we'll wait for a minute to show you that. So anyway, the first lot of goodies, I went by this table, and this was the kind of stuff I'm looking for. The guy had a bunch of tools, so he had all of these C-clamps here, and I checked them all out, and they're all Williams. All of these right here, there's 5 of them. Yep, all of these are Williams, J.H. Williams. They all work good, and they just need a good cleaning. All the screws work. So these, because they're so rusted up, that one's a little bit better right there. It's actually got some of the paint still on it, but we'll probably be bead blasting all of these C-clamps here. But you can't ever have too many C-clamps, and I see C-clamps quite often down there, and I look at all of them every time I see them. Usually the ones I've been finding lately are not that good quality, usually just imported stuff. So I look at them really good, and I found that all these were Williams, so I want to go ahead and get these and add them, because you just can't have too many clamps. So so I grabbed all these and put them in a stack, and then I noticed on the back side of this table he had 2 of these. And for those that use this style, probably recognize that it looks like a cant twist type of clamp. Now I went ahead and did a little bit of wire brushing on the tops here on both of the clamps, and I cannot find a name on these so far. I can't find a name. I was assuming that these were cant twist. I've never had a cant twist clamp. These are actually my first 2. But as I said, I'm not sure if they're cant twist or if they're a copy or what they are, because I can't find a name on them. It could be that they're just very old. They do have a lot of rust on them, but they're still in good shape. The screws work good. They just need a cleaning. And then the other thing is that the blocks here, I thought that the cant twist, they're all copper, and these look like they're steel. Okay, yeah, these blocks on these are steel, but they do have the V-notches in them for squaring up to round materials. So anyway, I've actually been wanting to add some cant twist to my inventory here of tools, and just never bit the bullet and bought some yet. So I've been keeping my eyes out for these, and the Bessey brand also, the J clamps. So anyway, he had prices on all these. These are 4 a piece, 3 a piece, 2 a piece, $4. So I asked him how much he wanted for all these, and he said that he would take $17. So I decided to go ahead and buy them all. Okay, so got a bunch of C-clamps here, and I was happy with that. All good quality stuff. And I think what I'm going to do with these is I'll probably just bead blast all of them and clean them really good after I blast them, and just oil them up real good and just use them like that. So I am excited to finally have some of these. You know, I see Tom use them all the time, and they look extremely handy because of the position of the screw. These actually still swivel real good. So finally got some cant twist clamps in my shop. So that was the first score, and let me go ahead and gather up the second. I'll be right back. Alright, so my second score, I was very excited whenever I found this item. I was walking through the flea market with that green tote with all the clamps that I had recently bought, and I was actually working my way back to my truck on the other side, and I was making just one little quick pass down to that last row there, and I'm kind of looking back and forth, and I come up on this table of an elderly couple on my right side, and they just had a few things on the table. And then right in the middle of the table, I see this. So, you know, I had to go check it out. But he had it open, just like that. So what we got here is a beautiful 6-inch caliper, Starrett caliper. And these are some of the older ones that are made in USA. And they are like brand new. They really don't look or feel like they've got wear on them or that they've been used a lot, really. So, you know, these were sitting there like this, open on his table, and I almost missed them. And that's why you got to pay attention to this stuff. And I happen to look over and I see them. I'm like, ooh, man, look at those. So I walk over there and I set the little tote down and I reach in and start looking at them, you know. And I was like, man, that is a nice 6-inch caliper right there. And so I asked the man what he wanted for his calipers, and he said $35. I was like, I think that's an excellent buy, and I think I got to have them for that price. Now, it wouldn't be the flea market if you didn't try to negotiate a little bit. I did offer him 30, and he says, no, sir, I'll sell them to you for $35, and you know you're getting a good buy at $35 for those. So I said, nope, no arguing with that. So I did ask him, though. I said, were these yours, or, you know, is this something that you picked up and you're reselling? And he says that he bought these used 18 years ago, and he said he used them maybe 2 times to measure something, and he just hasn't touched them besides that. So they're in excellent condition, and they did belong to somebody. There's a scribing on the back here. It says NP and then a number 802161. So this could have belonged to somebody, or, you know, another shop, or who knows. This might have been part of their tool inventory that they had sold. So tell you what, let me grab the camera. We'll move it in here closer. I'll give you guys a little better peek at these calipers. Okay, here's your little closer up shot so you can see them better. Still got the certificate with them. I love that they say American made there on the dial face, and the hallmark there is, this is the ones that they're actually, it's like engraved in there, that they're inset, and as well as all of the numbers right here. They have a good feel. They go right back to 0 every time. They're clocked at 12 o'clock like they should be. Great tool, good buy. I was very excited to get these. This is the kind of stuff that, this is why we go to the flea market, and this is the kind of thing that, you know, you're looking for. And I felt very lucky that I found these, and I was happy to pay $35 for them. And just a good tool to add to the machine shop collection around here. So here's some stuff from work that I'm going to share with you. Some work that I've done at my other job. Right there you see that is a rod gland and a packing nut. I had to do some buttress thread chasing on those, and I had to bore and bush them, bring them back to spec. There's actually 2 of these cylinders that we repaired, and I was able to save those and get them back in usable shape. So here's the rod. I've got 2 of these I'm building, and that is some 5-inch induction hardened chrome plated rod, and just taking some rough and cuts right there. We're removing a 1/4 inch, running about 15 thousandths feed rate, I think, and using another one of those Sandvik inserts that Mike give me. Those things, I like them. They work really good. Do a good job on that 1045 chrome plated rod. This is pretty good sized job. I worked on these all week, and I was able to get them both knocked out. We had a bunch of other work we had to do also that I'll show you, but most of this is just about the rod work that I'm doing, getting them turned. We had to do some bored and threaded on the other end. But at this end here, we had to turn it down for the piston and then thread it for the nut, and that is some buttress thread.
That's 3.5 by 12 buttress thread. Tried to get in here a little closer that you could see it, and they turned out pretty good. So here's another cut I was making on the second rod, and I grabbed this and filmed it because I decided to pull out my cool mist and try to help that tool a little bit. And you can see I was making my very first cut through that induction harden after you have to preheat it and kind of soften a little bit, but it's pretty tough. Once you get underneath it, it's good to go. And I think I got some more shots of the buttress threading in here to show you also. That was just another clip of that turning that induction hardened area off. You can see it glowing. So I think I already showed you this, but we'll go to it anyway. I missed a few, but got it tapered in there for your cushion, some buttress threading, and I had to grind me a tool bit to cut those and get up close to a shoulder. That's a piece of 3/8 high-speed steel that I ground. A little bit closer shot of the buttress threads there. And then here's the rod flipped end for end, doing the opposite end for the rod eye to screw into. You just have to drill it out and then start boring it. So I got it bored to size there. Got a little counter bore and just used an internal threading bar. And that was 3" 12. So it's a 12 pitch, which is very common in cylinder work. I couldn't get any video. It's hard to thread and hold a camera at the same time. But it worked out real good. I ended up having a really good fit on both of the rods. And that's what it looks like with the rod eye screwed into it. And this last clip I'm sharing, this is one of the cylinders that we built, and we're testing it. And the guys had already tested it successful, and I seen them doing it, and I wanted to walk over there and get a little clip of it, you know, extending and retracting, but to give you an idea of what the cylinder looks like and how it performs. And that I'm kind of zooming in right there. You can see the packing nut and then the glands behind it. We had to remove that blind end there, and that's the new weld it back on. But that's about it, guys. Alright guys, we got some more viewer appreciation mail that came in. We got a nice box here full of all kind of good stuff. And this comes to us from Stacy Call. He's from Hurricane, West Virginia. And he said he sent me a little email about a week ago or so and told me that he had one specific item that he wanted to send me. But he went ahead and put together a nice little care package of all kinds of good stuff. So let's pull this out and check out what he sent. Alright, we're going to start with this guy here. What this looks like is a handle that come off of maybe a rotary table or some sort. Yep, it's actually off of a Troik. You can see the name there. So he threw that in the box there. He told me that he got a nice lot of machine shop tooling, and he's been going through it and kind of distributing some of it, and he wanted me to have some. So we got a bunch of Armstrong and I think Williams lantern style tool holders, you know. This is one that I don't think I've got. That's got the threading insert on here. It's pretty neat. The way those are made is that once you wear it, you can grind that off and rotate it. So that one's pretty cool right there.
And we've got several of them in here, several different types. We've got a bunch of boring bar holders from Armstrong. This is a Williams. Pretty unique. That's pretty heavy duty right there. I've never seen one that style like that. It looks like they've got it made to where you can actually flip this block over and hold a little smaller boring bar in there. That is number 82 Williams. And we've got our good friends passing through the neighborhood. You can hear the sirens. There's another Armstrong boring bar holder here. We've got a few of the smaller guys, high-speed steel type holders. There's a left-hander, probably for a 5/16 tool bit. There's your straight Armstrong tool holder. You've got a small parting blade holder here. This one's by Williams, and it actually says on the other side Homecraft. Never seen one like that before. N30 right hand. That one's neat. And then we have your straight type parting blade holder also. And this one's an Armstrong, number 20. That's pretty neat. I think this might come in handy because I've got a few of these small parting blades. And we've also got some of these wrenches, which is, I really like these, especially this one right here. A very useful wrench. I've got a few of these and I use them on my Armstrong turning tool holders like you see me use on the lathe. This one is for my size. These are a little bit smaller. So nice wrench there. Also got this one here that I don't have one like this. This is a Williams, and 7/8 on one end and your other end is square. Let's see what the square is. Looks like probably 7/16 or so, but it fits some of these smaller tool holders like that. So you got your wrench to tighten up your tool bit, and I believe the other side was used for your top bolt for your lantern style tool post. Nice clean wrench. That's still in really good shape. He threw this in here too, and I'm not really sure what this is. It's made by Scully Jones, number 2533758, but it also says patent number next to it. So I'm not sure. You got a tapered bore in there. You've got a nut here that looks like will catch a thread, and you tighten it and it pulls it up in there. So offhand, I have it searched. I'm not really sure what this is, what it's used for. So if you guys recognize that, you can let me know what that can be used for. And we're going to save the good one for last there, or the hot ticket item. He also gave me a parting blade. This is a Sandvik. There's the insert. There's one on there, and a whole pack of the inserts right here. Some Sandvik parting inserts. And then we've got another pack of inserts right here. These are Tungaloy TNGG. I'll have to look those up and see what these are for. I believe they're for steel, but nice pack of inserts there. Alright, we're down to the last item, and this is what he had emailed me and said that he wanted to send me. And we've talked about this a little bit in the videos in the past. This is an item that I wanted, and I passed up on one at a swap meet, never did buy it. That's this nice Jacobs 20N drill chuck. A 20N will hold from 3/8 to 1 inch. And I believe this is their biggest drill chuck that they ever made. So I've already checked this out a little bit, Stacy, and I'm almost positive that this thing needs to be rebuilt. I need to purchase a rebuild kit for this. I chucked it up on a piece of 1 inch in the collet chuck over on the lathe, and the jaws are not pulling up square. So I think that we're going to have to get a rebuild kit for it. So that's something that we're going to look into in the future, is to get us a rebuild kit for this and rebuild a Jacobs chuck. It's something that I've actually never done before. I know about it. I've just never actually had a need to rebuild my chucks. Actually, I do, but I just never did. So the arbor is a number 4 Morse taper, and it looks like it threads into the drill body here. You got a lock nut there. So maybe this is nice and straight. We'll have to do a little bit of polishing on it. But this is a nice big drill chuck that I've never had one, and I always wanted one. So now I finally got one. So I got to thank you very much, Stacy, for sending this to me. It's a great gift, and it'll be a nice addition to our tools around here in the shop. And I do look forward to getting this in good, usable condition. So, nice lot of tools right here. You really outdid yourself on these, and I would like to offer that if somebody is looking for something like this, you wanted to do some trading or whatever, just let me know. I do use some of these. It's just not as often anymore that I do use them, and I do have a couple of them, and some of that don't have. So Stacy just wanted to give this stuff to somebody that could probably use it, and he says that if I can't use it, if I want to pass it on, to do so. So that's about it for this nice little lot of tools right here. So thank you very much, Stacy. It's very, very much appreciated by me. All right, we got another box that arrived today while I was off work, home out here getting some stuff done. And this comes to us from Ty Hall. He's from Pablo West, Colorado. He's been a long time viewer of the channel, and pretty cool dude. I haven't even been into everything yet to see what he sent. Let's see what he says. Enclosed, I have packed some goodies. One is an American-made ball valve. That is what prompted this package, I believe, from Ty, is after my little rant about the ball valve. He said that he's got an American-made ball valve that he wanted to send me. Also have some TIG rod, 705 or 70 series wire, and some two is some TIG rod, 70 series wire, 3 some pre-sharpened by me. Tried on some thin aluminum, you will like it. And he's going in some other stuff here about the pin and everything. Also I've enclosed some cutting discs for aluminum and steel, 4.5 inch, grinding disc for aluminum, and a stainless wire wheel for aluminum. Enjoy, buddy. Great videos. Keep them coming, and I will keep watching. My best as always, Ty Hall. P.S. My pen does not have spell check. Haha. I feel you on that, Ty. I'm the same way. So used to the autocorrect that I have to watch what I'm doing there. So let's check it out. This is probably the wire wheel. It's a Wheeler box. Nope. Got some flat disc. Okay. 120 grit. Those are the nice thick ones too, man. 2 of those. All right. Here's one of your wire wheels. It's a stainless wire wheel. All right, we've got a grinding wheel for aluminum. Those are always great to have around. I actually have one that's pretty well worn down that I've had for a long time, and that's the only time you use it is if you need to grind a little bit of aluminum with a side grinder. If you use a regular type grinding wheel for steel, it likes to clog up the grinding wheel there, and it doesn't do a very good job. All right, and we've also got some of these cut-off disc. This one is for aluminum. I don't have any of those, so that's great, Ty. And then we've got some of your other standard straight 45,000 stick cut-off wheels. So all good stuff right there, man. And these are all things that guys like us use. So thank you very much for all of the grinding wheels there. These are probably going to be the tungstens, I believe. Okay, so here is some of the TIG wire. If I can get one out of here. It's 1/8 TIG wire, TIG rods, welding rods. Awesome. I think these are some of the ones that I was running out of that I needed to get. I think Ty must do a little bit of welding. He seems like the welder type. He did tell me that he is a millwright, and I believe he works for a steel mill up there in Colorado. Okay, so here is our ball valve. Quarter-inch ball valve made by Apollo, and he says that this right here is a made in USA item, and it says it on the tag, made in USA. So that's going to be a nice ball valve to put on the Monarch lathe, Ty. This is what I was looking for and what I was hoping to find, and so this is great, man. I really appreciate it. And that's you know, that subject that I had brought up the other day kind of really stirred up a few folks, and I had a few that didn't appreciate what I said, but you know, if we get on the subjects like that in the future, I think we'll just have to maybe tread lightly on the subject. So anyway, got a nice American-made ball valve that we're going to install on the Monarch lathe there. So, all right, let's get to your last package here. Okay. So we've got some 3/32 tungstens that we can use for the TIG welding, and I believe this is what he has said that he has sharpened himself. Let's pull one of them out. Yep. He's got a nice little grind there with just a little tiny flat on the end. So I believe this is the one that he was telling me that I need to use on my aluminum welding. So good stuff, Ty. Very nice care package, man. All good stuff here, man. I have no complaints at all. So again, like I always say, thank you very much, man. This is great stuff, and it's appreciated, and it'll all be put to good use around here, man. So thanks again. So I came over here immediately to the Monarch. I want to go ahead and hook up this new ball valve that Ty sent me. There's just a little comparison of your import quality, and then this one is a made in USA. So we're going to go ahead and get this one hooked up. All right. Okay. Go. Go ahead and hook up our spout again. And it and grab my wrench. Okay. This has got a lock built into it. You slide back and open her up. You can even lock it in wide open position too. It's a neat little feature. Okay. All right, well there's our new made in USA ball valve for the Monarch cooler. Thank you very much, Ty. I really appreciate it, buddy. Hey guys, getting ready to play around with a couple little projects here in the shop. Got home a little bit early today. So I got one project right here that I'm gonna probably getting ready to play with, and this is one I've already done. I thought I would just go ahead and show it to you. I didn't do any video of this right here. It was pretty simple. Two little items right here that belongs to my buddy Cody. He drag races motorcycles, and so he's brought me several projects that you've already seen me work on before. But anyway, he brought me this little dog bone here, and he asked me if I could make him another pair, and that's what I've done. And this 6 3/16 is the center to center distance that he wanted on another set, so that's what I did. So I took it down there to my buddy Joe at the welding shop. He's got a CNC plasma table, and I gave this to him and asked him if he would copy it except for the proper length, and I did my math, and basically from tip to tip here it would be 7 3/8. So that's it right there. He burned me out a couple of them, and 12mm holes. Ended up using an end mill, drilled the hole, and used a 12mm end mill to open it up to the right size. Which actually brought up a good point there when I was doing it. I'm like, man, I really do need a good set of metric drill bits. I've got a couple, you know, just some random ones. I've got a good 14mm drill bit, but I might look into getting a little set of some metric drill bits just for cases like this, because, you know, 12mm, it's you know, these holes measure a few thousandths over 12mm, and I'm sure that's a bolt going through there. So like I said, I just used an end mill. So anyway, I did that little project for him. And then this right here, this is a stock shaft out of his motor that goes with the clutch. There's probably some kind of little arm or something that hooks this little end, this little flange deal on the end, and this is what pulls your clutch, you know, engage, disengage. That's the factory right there. And this is an aftermarket, because he's got an aftermarket clutch on it. And apparently the aftermarket, they don't harden these. They're not of the same hardness as a factory Kawasaki part like this right here. So this wasn't in there very long, and it actually had started wearing down here on this end. So he asked me about possibly if I could make one of these and do a higher quality job on it as far as like hardness goes, maybe try to match, you know, the factory specs right here. So we talked about it, you know, we shot some numbers out there, and he just asked me for the time being to clean the end up and polish it, and he wants to run this for a couple more races or so, and he might come back later and we might go ahead and build one of these. And so I'll have to order some tool steel, do some machining, and then send it off and get it heat treated. So that might be something that we do in the future here. I don't know. We'll just see if he decides he wants to go with that. Okay, so so that's a couple little projects right there. But what I'd like to do, you see I've got these two Albright chucks. Us southern boys down here in the south, we call these here Albright chucks. I know most of you guys say Albrick, and that's how it looks like it's pronounced, so I've just always said Albright, and I think I get it from everybody. All of my mentors said it down here in the south. So anyway, these are two Albright chucks that I got from Ben Zentner a while back in a tool trade, One of them is 0 to 1/4 inch, and then the other one here is 0 to 5/16. 0 to 8, so it's 8 millimeter. And they both have a number 2 Morse taper shank on them. This one, I'm not sure about. It looks like it probably threads up into the chuck. This one looks like a Jacobs taper inside here. I believe it's a 1 Jacobs taper. And I think this is the size that I just watched Tom Lipton do this week on his meatloaf. He removed this arbor and bought a new one and installed it. But what I was thinking I would try before I go through the hassle of buying one and pulling these out and installing it, I'd like to try another trick, and that is turn these to a proper diameter to fit a collet, and then just cut the rest of it off. So what I want to do is set it up in the lathe, and I want to chuck a pin and use a live center here, and we'll turn it, and once we turn it, I'll just cut it off, and then we'll see if that works. That's my idea anyway. So that's what I wanted to try. I've got this little hardened dowel pin right here. I need to wire brush it. It's got a little bit of rust on it, but I want to wire brush this, and I'll put this in my collet chuck, and then hopefully I'll be able to grab that with the chuck here. Probably going the wrong way. Anyway, just grab it with the chuck there, like that. Hold it to the center, turn it, so forth. So that's what I want to give it. I want to give it a shot and see if that'll work. So get the lathe set up, and we'll do a little bit of machine work. All right, I had to ditch the 1/4 inch dowel pin. I don't think I was getting good contact. I found this 3/16 drill blank, put in a 3/16 collet, but I'm running into a couple problems here, and I'll show you what I'm finding. All right, so this one here, which goes up to 1/4 inch, seems to be doing pretty good. But when I stick this one on here, which is goes up to 5/16, let's try it out right here. Probably going the wrong way. All right, there we go. Doing better this time. I don't think I checked it with the 3/16, but I was having a problem. It didn't seem to be wanting to run true, but it's doing much better now. All right, here's our smaller guy. Okay. So I checked the run out of the drill blank, and I was getting 1/1000th run out, and I took it out and I moved it, checked it a couple times, and it's consistent 1/1000th run out. So we're just gonna have to live with it. That's probably in this chuck right here, and that's about the best I'm gonna get it. So what we're gonna do is run this up and use my live center. Like that. And we're going to turn this down and use my new Sterrits right here. We're going to turn it down to 5/8. Alright, so that's about 706 right there. And on this end, around 600,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it to 5/8. What we're really worried about is this area right here, because I'm going to turn this to 5/8 and I'm going to cut the rest of that off, so we'll just have a little shank. And then same way with this one right here, turn it to 5/8 and I'll cut that end off. Okay, here we go. You know, I didn't even do a file check, but okay, seems machinable. Got a brand new carbide insert in there. That's not good. Didn't have it tight enough. That was 25 thousandths. I don't think I had that chuck very tight on that pin. Okay, 680. That just ain't wanting to work, is it? I thought for sure that chuck would be holding. All right, I'll try it again. I tightened it up. $661. All right, we'll keep rolling with it. We're gonna put it in a gear I don't like putting it in. We're gonna kick it up a notch. Okay, that's 900 RPM, by the way. That's the high range on the lathe right here. All right, we still got 20 thousandths, so I'm gonna take 10. Okay, 10 thousandths. I'm measuring 0.635. I think I'm going to take 9 thousandths, and I want to hit that with a little bit of my fine emery. $626. All right. Got some of my 220 right here. Half a thou. I think we're good to go right there, though. Okay, I think we're close enough. Maybe you can see that. All right, we're gonna call that one done. I'm gonna take it out, and then what we'll do, I'll use my, I don't want to part this off. I'm just gonna use my grinder and a cutoff wheel. We'll mark it and just cut it off. Okay, getting ready to cut this off. I thought I'd show you this little mask that I found at work. we were doing inventory last week and we found this, and it wasn't in our inventory, so we were going to have to add it. So we looked it up, and it wasn't very expensive. I think it was like 12 bucks or something. So I went ahead and bought it, and it's just a, you know, safety glasses. It's got this little face shield that actually, you know, you can pick it up if you want, move it out of the way. Don't tear it up like I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to use this guy right here for a little face shield. I'm going to cut that off. I like wearing gloves too anytime you're using a grinder, just so that it protects your hands and your arms right here a little bit from the grinding wheel. So I got a little mark right here, about 1 inch. Another good thing to point out when you're using wheels or cut-off wheels is try not to push real hard when you're doing your grinding. Just let the wheel do the work. And as you see me there, I was just kind of moving it up and down, and I was just letting the weight of the grinder do the work there for me. Okay, our new little mask worked. Just thought that would be something good to have around here for some PPE. So all I'm going to do is grind a little, I'll just belt sand a little chamfer on the end of that. I don't think I'm going to get fancy and face it off in the mill like Tom did. So I think that'll work out. So we'll test it and see if it runs true now. Alright, so there's the drill chuck. Got it dressed off, and got my 5/8 collet in here. Just give it a little test and see how it looks running. Yeah, I can see a little bit of, I can see a tiny amount of run out, probably a few thousandths. But I think that'll work right there. It's not perfect. I mean, you know, the way I did it in the lathe, that wasn't really the best way to do it, but it's a quick way. What I'm doing, I'm just kind of moving this a little. It's about the same. So anyway, got this one done. I'm gonna do the same exact thing with the other Albright chuck, and so I'll have two of these small keyless chucks that I'll be able to use whenever I need.